Most economics argue that a monopoly is inefficient because it is blank. So in this question, we're told to identify what a monopoly is inefficient. We're told to identify why a monopoly is inefficient. To enter this, we can simply draw the graph that represents a monopoly. So this would be price by quantity. This is marginal cost. We'll represent that with MC. This is, we'll draw average total cost. Then this would be demand, downward sloping graph. Then this would be marginal revenue, because marginal revenue does not equal demand for a monopoly. And we don't need to draw average variable cost because it is very important here. So in this graph, this arbitrary graph, we can just identify the profit maximizing point by finding the place where MC and MR intersect. That would be this point right here. And now the monopoly would set the price equal to what the demand or the market is willing to pay. In that case, it would be up here. And that would be this quantity and this price. And looking at this, the monopoly would make a profit because the price or the demand is above the ATC. So they're earning an economic profit equal to the area of this box. So now let's look at what the answer choices say. A. Has no incentive to minimize its costs. This is incorrect because every firm has an incentive to minimize its costs, not just a monopoly. This isn't the reason why a monopoly is inefficient. So A is incorrect. B. Produces too little output and sets a price above marginal cost. This seems to be the correct answer because it is true that they set a price above the marginal cost because marginal cost is down here and the price they set is up here. This is because they know the demand for their good is greater than the marginal cost. So they set the price up here to maximize their profits. And they produce too little output because they don't set the price equal to MC equals D or MC equals ATC. And these are more of the optimal points for the market as a whole. And instead they set their price, the quantity they produce, to MC equals MR and set it to a high price. So therefore it is true that the monopoly sets a high price, a price above the marginal cost, and produces too little output. So B seems to be the correct answer. C. Earns too much profit by charging consumers any price it wants. This is incorrect because the monopoly cannot charge the consumers any price it wants, because if they were to charge a price up here, less people would be willing to buy it. So they have to consider what the consumers are willing and able to pay. So this isn't the reason why monopolies are inefficient. D. Produces too much output and thus wastes scarce resources. This is incorrect because this is the opposite of what a monopoly does. Instead, it produces too little output and doesn't really waste scarce resources because no firm would waste resources. So in this case, we can see that the monopoly graph here shows that they produce at the quantity MC equals MR instead of the quantity MC equals demand or MC equals ATC. And because of this, they aren't producing too much output. Instead, they're producing very little output. So D is incorrect. E. Usually produces unsafe products if not regulated by the government. This is incorrect because this isn't why a monopoly is inefficient. There are many cases where monopolies don't produce unsafe products, but they are still inefficient. So E is incorrect, and the correct answer is B.